Assalamualaikum and good day. Now this video will show about our second last chapter, Eeprom for BEEA2374 embedded system, Eeprom. This is the learning outcome. At the end of this chapter, you must know about memory structure in Arduino microcontroller and how to use Eeprom. First, let's recall what we have learned in chapter 1, which is memory in microcontroller, chapter 1 or chapter 2. We start with all the memory in microcontroller. We have three types of memory, which is flash memory, SRAM, and EEPROM. Now you still remember, you must remember what different. Flash memory is more to use to store the test program, and then SRAM to store data temporarily, and then EEPROM to store data permanently. Not permanently, actually you still can delete it, but the different, like I say before, we have RAM and ROM. What's the difference? Which one can store data even though you turn off your computer or microcontroller? EEPROM or ROM, when read-only memory, can store the data even though can remain the data even though you turn off the computer or microcontroller. The simple example is CD-ROM. CD-ROM and RAM. RAM in your computer cannot store the data even though when you turn off or blackout, turn off the computer suddenly, then all the data in the RAM will be clear. Compared to CD-ROM, if you have CD-ROM, you still can play it even though you turn off computer, you pull out the CD, put back the CD, still you can access the memory. Now this is the data type. This one you have learned in C++, pengaturan komputer. This all the data type. Actually just recall you have boolean, character, true or false, and so on. You can read by your own, and then float. This one is maybe the new one for you. This one, size, byte, it represents how many data, how many byte data will be stored in your RAM or ROM, in your memory. For example, if you declare your variable as double, so it use 4 bytes of data. But if you use just integer, you only have 2 bytes of data. That means if you declare your variable as integer, you can save more memory compared to double. After all the same. That means it depends. Maybe for your current program, just a simple program, you're not required to use a high memory. So you can, whenever you have variable, you just declare double, no problem. But if you work in industry, you require long test program with the limited data. So you must plan well, either to use integer or double or float. As you can see here, the memory byte is different, 2 byte and 4 byte. It gives you a lot of different if you declare, let's say 100 variables. So you will have 200 byte of data compared to 400. So it makes it different. This is number of memory, size of memory on every Arduino family. So you use Arduino Uno, the size is around SRAM 2K, 32K, and 1K. But if you want to make a larger program, let's say your final year project, you want to use a bigger project, bigger system, that's why I suggest you to use Arduino Mega. Why? It have a lot more input-output pin compared to Arduino Uno, and for sure because of this RAM. You see here the flash RAM 256K. This one where you store your test program. So this one, the larger size, you can store longer test program. And RAM also this one, you have a larger memory. But for EEPROM still remain the same, around 1 kilobyte should be enough. You don't have you don't need to store a lot of data. This is in Arduino Uno. As you know, Arduino Uno is 10 bit of address. Use 10 bit of address. So the data will be stored in 10 bits. Maximum value for each address can be stored is 255. So they have another 8 bit of data that you can store. 10 bit represent this one, 10 bit, and then this is the size, the memory address. Okay, this is the command when you want to use Eeprom. Why you want to use Eeprom? Because you want to store the data that maybe you want to store the data permanently. For example, you want to collect the data, the temperature for, let's say, every 2 hours for 5 days. So if you use RAM to store the data will be clear. Let's say suddenly after 2 days, the problem, and then the electricity cut off, and then suddenly you lost all the data because you stored RAM. That's why you need to use ROM so that you can store the data in ROM permanently. Let's say something happened, blackout or whatsoever, you still can extract back the data. Something like you store the data in external hard disk lah. This is the similar, but this is the command. First, you must use the library eeprom.h, and then this is the command write to write integer value 12 to address 5. This is the value range and so on. Now we go to Eeprom read to read the data. What 8 means address 8. What's the data address will be displayed. This one put data at address 2. Right, this one value 1. You want to store at address number 2. This one almost similar with write, but write you have to have the exact value. But this one you what we call it. In C++ we have some term I don't remember. So you want to store data at address number 2 until 5. And then next, this one Eeprom get to read whatever data in this one and store at variable f. Store at the variable data. Integer value put, this one almost the same. You store value 5825 into address number 10. Eeprom get again the same, only this one m now is an integer. Okay.